G'day, my name's Steve Townsend. I'm a senior firefighter here at 260 Newcastle, C platoon. I'm the motor driver for the day, and I'm going to show Zane through the pockets of the appliance and describe the gear that we've got on the truck that we'll use at most incidents. Okay, so in this pocket we have Ppv Fan, which is used for extracting smoke from a building that's suffered some sort of smoke damage. It's actually positive pressure ventilation to force smoke out, fresh air in. We've got traffic control devices, so witches' hats, warning signs, lighting tripods, hand tools that are used for cleanup, such as brooms, shovels, rake hose for bushfire incidents. Spare hose, 70mm and 38mm hose. Spag saw, which is used for our hazmat jobs, so for spillages. That's just more hazmat and white powder incident kit. Power leads and lights, a jenny, a filler length, a power board, and just some basic small hand tools, little knickknacks that are used in different jobs.
Yeah.
Next pocket, we've got a bit of assortment again. Truck jack, floats for our Davy pump, which is used as a portable pump for getting water from, say, swimming pools or any other static water supply. Refreshments, so we carry plenty of water, drinking water to keep the boys hydrated if we're out on an extended job. Up the top here we have all sorts of stuff as far as cordage, life rescue lines, that sort of thing if we've got to do any cordage work. Just some hazmat gear, which will be little bits and pieces, protective gloves, boots, that sort of thing. These are just all small kits that we carry around. So there's a sprinkler kit there, which is for sprinklers, sprinkler heads and that sort of thing that have been knocked off automatic fire systems. We go to a lot of that sort of stuff. Wheel chocks, hose bandages. This one here, just a lot of hose accessories, so branches, adapters, a 1:2 breaching for on our hydrants when we're setting up for a bigger job. And that one there's just a life rescue line. And along with that, just underneath that is our couple of spare BA cylinders and a spare oxyviver cylinder.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the rear pocket. In here is basically just standpipes for tapping into water hydrants from the town mains for access to water supplies. Hydrant bars, which are wedged in the corners there. And just some foam gear, so if we want to introduce foam into our water supply for argument's sake for some bushfire fighting, we can use a foam as a wetting agent. So these things, the foam adductors introduce the foam into the water supply. The large nozzles like this one are just to aerate the foam and give you a better foam stream, and then you can control it a bit better and use it as a better tool. So that's about it for that one. Okay, so the back of the pump is where we control the actual pump on the truck. So as the motor driver, when we arrive at a job, this is basically my workstation. So all the functions of the pump can be controlled from here. Very important that we maintain good water supply for firefighters if they go into a burning building, or at any incident for that matter. So apart from the pump controls, we've got a first aid reel, which is for like a quick attack reel. Flaked hose for those bigger jobs where we don't want to be rolling hose out, we just want to get the hose out, get it all hooked up, get going. See up the top there's actually some large hose, which is for our suction capabilities. So there's a strainer there, there's a large hose section in behind, just a sealing hook. Other bits and pieces that are used in most firefighting operations. We've got some foam there, which is Class A foam, B class fires. Over the other side here Again, we've got more flake toes, more suction lines, and we've got that Davy pump that I referred to before when I showed you the float. So that's just for static water supplies. All right, so in this pocket, fair bit of stuff that gets used quite regularly. We'll start at the bottom for a change. Spare SCBA cylinders. That's our trauma kit, so first aid kit and also our oxyviper, all in one pack. That's an electrical kit, which gives us a small device in there that we can test to see if there's live current in a circuit in a house or anything like that. Give us an idea of whether there's a power hazard that we need to be aware of. Gas detector. That will be the thermal imaging camera case. The thermal imaging camera is actually kept in the cab, so it's readily accessible for the crew when we arrive at a job. In this one, bits and pieces of everything really, but that's a blanket bag, blankets, sheets, gear bags, cable ties for putting contaminated gear in, that sort of thing. Rubber gloves, there's a lot of PPE stuff in here too. Rubber gloves, face masks, goggles, as you'll see up here, dust masks, earmuffs, BA cleaning, a lot of stuff that just gets used all the time. These are the two of our self-contained breathing apparatus sets, which is my set today because I'm the pump driver, and that's the boss's, that's the SO set. Up above there we've got an extension mask, and we've just got a charger up there for our cordless tools, so cordless drill, that sort of cable that we use with our smoke alarm installations for the elderly, and for like putting up, say, hydrant identification plates out on the roadway, that sort of thing. I don't know if you've noticed the HP or the HR markers with a distance, and that's telling us where we're going to find a hydrant. So we do that sort of stuff as part of our day-to-day work as well. Okay, so this is the last pocket that we're going through. Top corner, air chisel. There'll be chainsaw gear in there, pardon me, which will be protective equipment, chaps, earmuffs, chainsaw spanners and tools. So every pump carries a chainsaw for tree removal, that sort of thing. That's a quick cut saw, which we'll use to gain entry into, say, through roller doors or something like that. If we can't get into a building, we can cut through the roller door. Hand tools here, which are used basically as firefighting tools. Stuff like what we call a Halligan tool. So that's used to force entry as well. Down in here we have, these are hydraulic lines for part of our rescue gear that we carry, that each pump carries. Down below there, just a standard toolbox with hand tools, screwdrivers, spanners, that sort of thing. Case for our cordless tools. On this shelf, our rescue gear that every pump will carry, whether we're actually designated as a rescue appliance or not. So we have an air over hydraulic pump that we can power with spare SCBA cylinders, and we have a combi tool, we have a ram, just some extension plates and bases for that one. And down underneath here we have, this is what we call a rapid intervention bag, or what always used to be called a goat bag, which has a line of 38 hose and a branch. Basically, if you go into a high rise, you throw that on your back and up you go, and you can tap into the internal water supply to actually start firefighting while the job gets set up. A wooden block set, which is used in our rescue stuff, and that is a, geez, I've forgotten what we call it now, which is basically another one of our entry tools, which is a small hydraulic wedge that we stick into the door frame, and we can actually jack a door open and pop the door. So that's actually a rig kit, that fella. So you've got little hydraulic wedges, and the likes of, that's actually the door opener, and plastic or soft blow mallet, and we've also got some other plastic wedges in there that we can hammer into that door frame to pop the door. Okay, so we're actually in the rear cab of our pumper. This would house obviously myself as the driver, the SO, and then two guys in the back here where Zane and I are as our firefighting crew. As you can see in the back of the seats here, we have self-contained breathing apparatus mounted there so that they're available for ready pick up and go. You know, basically sit back, put your arms through the harness, pull your mask out of up the top here and take it out of its protective bag, and you're ready to go to work. Not a great deal of gear kept in here other than our normal, our own personal PPE, helmets, tunics, pants, and you know, bits and pieces like handheld radios that we use for our comms on the fire ground. Yeah, and basically everything's controlled from up in the front of the cab. We're turned out by an automated system, which we now have a printout on the what's called an Adashi tablet, which will give us call details. We can pull up maps to get us to the job, a map of hydrants and water availability, any pre-incident plan that may have been done on an establishment. We can get all sorts of information just to make the job quicker, easier, more efficient. Okay, so these are our Adashi MDT tablets, just with the codes on here. When we get a call, the call details will come up, and when we're responding, when we leave the station, we're code 1. We're under lights and siren heading to the job. When we arrive, we'll be code 3, and we have to enter the codes as we get there. So we'll be code 3, and then our comm centre will understand that we are on site. The boss will then normally send a radio message just with details of the job, whether this person's trapped or whether there's no sign of fire and we're investigating, just so that they're aware of what's going on and whether they maybe need to start to plan for additional resources to respond. Code 6 is if we're going out of area. The MO is mobile, so if we're out, we're not on a job but we're actually out of the station, we let comms know we're out of the station by telling them we're mobile. Once the job's completed, the boss will put in a complete code and a message, and then we will actually go to code 4, which means we're available to respond. We're out on the road and we're available. When we return to the station, as we are now, we're code 5. So they're aware of where we are and what's happening at all times.